Hey yo, what's up everybody that is watching right now and JCTV Africa. This is your boy JC and welcome to this broadcast. Everyone that is watching from all over the world, watching this here is a rebroadcast. You're also welcome to this broadcast. So today we are looking at the issue that is trending today, the issue of the ambassador, prophet, or I don't know if you can call him prophet, Uebert Uebert Mudzanire, who has been caught by Aljazeera and Nyayavo streets. You know what I'm talking about. So, to those that have not yet watched the documentary, I'm going to preempt what I watched, but you can still go and watch the documentary on YouTube. I will put the link on the description after this video. Or you can go to my page, Kenan Rusike. You will find this documentary. Or you can just go on Al Jazeera, you'll find this documentary. So the story that we want to look at 4 points. But let me just preempt what I picked up in this documentary, and then I'll give you the 4 points. After that, we open up the lines for discussion. You can give me your points, and then we close the show. We want to keep it as short as possible because, you know, data in Zimbabwe is quite expensive, and we're trying to save data, but want to squeeze the show and make sure that everyone participates in this discussion. The first thing that we find is that the person that is being co-accused in this documentary is the the former Kenyan businessman who helped the former president, Mr. Daniel Arap Moi. He also claims to be a man of God, a pastor, and all of that. I once watched, Simbach Kanza doing, a story about him and saying that this man is a disaster to Zimbabwe about, I think, 2 years back. And I didn't pay much attention, but now there is this story that is coming out. And then Mr. Uebert Angel. He comes into the picture and he thinks that these are people, when you meet people that want to discuss business, especially for pastors, they are always they always feel like they always give attention to business people more than they do their own congregants. This is everywhere. I've seen that once the pastor sees someone wants to invest or someone wants to do business, they give them their all attention, and they seem to be like they act as though like they have more priority. The people that are trying to say that they are trying to invest, or they are given more priority than the normal congregants. And I think that's where they fell for the trick by Al Jazeera. So you can go and watch the documentary and see much more. But however, this is not the end of this 56-minute documentary. There's still more to come. There's still part 2, part 3, and part 4, according to the sources that I've heard and according to what Mr. Oposhimon has said about this documentary. There's a 4-part series, and even Al Jazeera confirmed the same. So that is number one. I want to now look at the points that I wanted us to discuss on this topic. The first point is that there is that call to Henrietta Rushwaya that Uebert Angel did in the documentary. It really exposed a lot of things. First thing that it exposed was the proximity that Uebert Angel has with Henrietta Rushwaya. You know the story that happened in 2020 when she was stopped at the airport, and then she was then later released. And the story that is behind the issue of the smuggling of gold from Zimbabwe. So that call, to me, it sounded like those. Sounded like people who have close communications. Number one. Number two, it also sounded like these people they've known each other from way back before Uebert was appointed to be the ambassador. And it shows that these are people who are having a close communication, or they are talking about other issues that are outside the business. That's why he said, we'll talk about other issues. Let's talk business. And they started talking business, and these guys were recording. That is the first thing. That call to Henrietta Schweier, it implicates him, and also it shows you that there is more to the relationship than what meets the eye. That is the first issue. Then the second issue is the issue of sanctions, and it is very critical to this discussion. The issue of sanctions is important in the sense that if you have seen the ZANU-PF apologists and everyone that is defending the issue, that's standing up about the issue of sanctions. Sorry about that. Right. The people that are talking about sanctions, they formulate this notion that the issue of sanctions is what is causing corruption to be there. And it's not only Uebert who mentioned about the issue of sanctions. Even Macmillan mentioned it about it, and that Kenyan pastor mentioned it, that the reason why people engage in smuggling gold is because of sanctions. And it is important in the sense that because of sanctions, that's why there is this. So the government of Zimbabwe or ZANU-PF, they are going to defend themselves using this this issue of sanctions, because sanctions exclude them from trading on the international market. So what then happens? What is going to happen to our gold? We have to take it somewhere. Obviously, we are going to sell it at a lower price than what the international market is selling it. So that's why these people, they have licenses, they have everything. So in hindsight, what I can say is that as much as we want to talk about this and say, hey, this is happening, Uebert and all of that, yes, their reputation is going to be tarnished. But at the end of the day, they'll tell you, what else did you expect us to do with our gold? We have a lot of gold. What are we going to do with it? And they'll tell you that that is the only way we can sell our gold and recover some money, because remember, this money is coming through the channels, it's coming through Reserve Bank, it's coming Fidelity printers. And I recall very not so long ago when they were saying that all the gold is going to go through Fidelity printers. So they'll tell you that we are not doing anything illegal here. It's because of sanctions. That's why we are then found ourselves in this whole problem. So it's not a problem that can shake or that the opposition can use. Coming to my next point, the opposition can use in order to gain votes or whatever. The ZANU-PF, even when they are going to go to campaign, they are going to use this to say, you saw the documentary, you saw that it is because of sanctions. That's why we are smuggling gold outside the country. Because we still want to earn money from the gold, but the international market will not permit us because we are still under sanctions. So the issue of sanctions is the common denominator in this whole drama, and is going to be used as a propaganda tool, if I can put it that way, in order to defend this whole documentary. So at the end of the day, this whole documentary is going to become like nothing has happened. So the issue of sanctions is the biggest, what can I say, is the big deal in this whole scenario. So Uebert can be tarnished and all these things, but at the end of the day, it will come back to the issue of sanctions. So sanctions are a common denominator in this whole issue. And then let's go to the next point. The next point is, what will the opposition do? Do they have a firm case against ZANU-PF, against Uebert? Can they open a case? Or they're just going to talk on social media and try to use this as a campaigning tool, but it will not yield as much results. You get what I'm saying? So I really think that if we had a strong opposition in Zimbabwe, if we had an opposition that is really like what Julius Malema and other opposition parties are doing in South Africa, we could be having someone opening a case against the ambassador. We could be having a case opened against these other individuals that are mentioned in the documentary, to say we're opening a case against these people for doing illicit trade. Of course, it will then come to the issue of what are the merits of the case, and the issue of these guys, they bought licenses. They'll tell you, yes, we are doing this, but it doesn't implicate us as, or we are not found on the wrong side of the law, because everything that we're doing it by the paper. You understand? But of course, the smuggling of gold outside of Zimbabwe through the channels of the airports and all of that, and bringing in stash of US dollars, is it permissible by law? Those are the things that, probably can be looked at. But are they going to hold water? Those are other issues. But as the opposition, in a perfect world, the opposition should use this as a tool to campaign, but also use this in order to put pressure on the ruling party and win some votes from the public. These are the things that but because I feel that, like, I'm not going to see the opposition doing anything much about this documentary. Yes, they are going to talk about it, but it's not going to, they're not going to use it as a tool to campaign come the elections. Obviously, the timing of the documentary says a lot, because it is coming in the time of elections, and also it is coming at the time of elections, and as it is coming at the time of elections, obviously people are going to it is going to be points to the opposition, but are they going to use them, you understand, for their advantage? I don't think so, and I don't see that happening. So what will the opposition do? For me, it's I don't see them mounting a strong case against ZANU-PF, against the people that are implicated in this whole saga. Then let's come to Papa's reputation, Uebert Angel's reputation. What is going to happen to this man? Is he going to fall down? Is this fall from grace? Is this the end of Uebert Angel? Or is this the end of Spirit Embassy? What is going to happen to the churches that are planted in the Americas and all other places? I don't think much is going to happen, because this is not the first time Uebert Angel has been accused. There are a lot of accusations that has come against him. If you remember, there was a time when there was an accusation against him about a bank that was in the UK, about him taking money from the people that were opening bank accounts in the guise that they were going to receive their salaries and all of that. And then the bank then it suddenly disappeared. That happened 2 years back. And what happened to him? He's still in the UK. Of course, there are those people who then say that these people, they take time and all of that. But the bottom line of the whole issue is that, yes, his reputation is going to be soiled. And those people that are sensible, that people who think, vanonomsoro, vanonofunga, vanotona kuti no papa zvari kuita izvi izvi hazvisiri zvekwamwari, those people are going to come and say we are leaving the church. But there are those who are attached to what the man has. You know what happened to Pastor Chris when there was this divorce with him, with Pastor Anita. Many people said that Christ Embassy was going to crumble. It did not crumble. So there are people who are gullible, who are being caught in this strong delusion that you see people going to his church, you see people following him. I even posted something today, and there was a guy who was saying that Uebert Angel is still a man of God and all of that. There are people who are so gullible. And on the international scene, you must understand that as much as we have this problem of money laundering, all these gimmicks, this is not a Zimbabwean problem. This is a world problem. And as it is a world problem, we still have the same in America. We still have, that's why you have the El Chapos in America. That's why you have the people that are smuggling gold in the likes in the countries like in the UK. You'll find all these oligarchs that then captures the state that are used as that do these all dirty things. So it's not a Zimbabwean problem. Yes, it will make the news. Number two, it will excite our senses. But at the end of the day, what is going to happen? The truth of the matter is the one who has the money carries the day. So as much as I am not happy with our resources leaving Africa at a lower price, our resources are being squandered by the elites. But the problem that I have is, what will Africans do? What will the opposition do? Is there something that is going to happen to these people to be held accountable? My instinct and my knowledge of Africa tells me that not much. Maybe in the next generation, maybe we are going to have a change of mentality. Maybe we are going to, but what I know is everyone ada kudya, no problem yatinayo. Everyone, there are some people right now who are actually thinking of, how can I be part of Angel's protocol? How can I be part of, how can I contact, how can I be part of this value chain and get money? So this is the problem that we have in Africa. Everyone wants to eat. So if everyone wants to eat, you are not going to have people that are going to stand up and say, let's eat together. Let's have a common goal for everyone, like a socialist state whereby, yes, there are people who are on top of the value chain that are eating much, but you have people that are going to say, we want value, we want equality for all. You're not going to have those kind of people. That is the problem that I have with Africa. So as much as this is a problem, as much as this is a heartbreaking story, what will Africans do? What are you going to do as an individual? Are you going to act? Are we going to see the courts acting? Are we going to see ZANU-PF rejecting Uebert Angel? Are we going to see him being stripped off of his post? We don't know. But I can tell you that he who has the money rules the day. If you have read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, you are familiar with what I'm talking about. So in a nutshell, this is all that I wanted to talk about. But I can see some of your comments. As long as he's alive, his fall will not begin. There are people in this generation that don't really care whether a man of God, look at Bushiri, followers after he ran. That's very true. I can agree here with Paul Ambili, Mr. Mashamps. Angel has always been thief. As usual, they've made him an ambassador for this reason. Saka pamodzi penya ivava pane ivava vana scarf more. Yeah, you see. So you do not just get this ambassador post without. You think the government did not do their due diligence? He was posted there for a reason. Obviously, they know. They might seem to deny him, or no, but in behind closed doors, he's still their guy, and nothing is going to happen. They might probably, see me as if they've frozen some of his assets or something like that. But at the end of the day, the one who has the money controls the day. So that is the problem that I have with Africa, and that is the problem that I have with Zimbabwe. Yes, this is heartbreaking. Yes, This is uncalled for. Yes, this is not something that we expect in Zimbabwe, but it's happening. And it's very painful. We are going to live with it. But we have a weak opposition. And I'm going to talk about this in the upcoming videos, that as much as we have hope in Nelson Chamisa, the opposition that we have right now, you are better off buying a membership of ZANU-PF and becoming a ZANU-PF member than you joining opposition. Yes, you have the desire to see change, but I don't see this happening with Nelson Chamisa. I don't see this happening with the Triple C. We are going to be sold a dummy of hope, but at the end of the day, ZANU-PF is still going to win, and we are going to, because the time that they were supposed to have acted in the past 5 years, they've not acted. And it's very painful. It's very painful for this generation that we are seeing this. Someone carry the hope of Zimbabwe, and then their hopes are going to be dashed. And this is going to discourage a lot of young people to vote. It's going to discourage a lot of young people to participate in any plebiscite, because they feel that the people that are on the echelon of politics are trying to use them. So personally, I feel like we're on our own, and there is no one that is going to save us from this conundrum or this limbo that we are finding ourselves in as Zimbabweans. So that's all that I wanted to share with you guys, and I hope you can tell me what you think. What do you make of this documentary? What do you make of the only part that we have seen? Yes, it's heartbreaking, but will the opposition act? This is the biggest question. I don't have much data. This is Zimbabwe. The data is expensive, but we'll keep on giving you updates and analysis on these issues. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and share this video with your family and friends. And I'll see you on the next episode of this broadcast as we look at what is happening in this world of politics. And looking up to 2023 elections, please support this channel. The details are appearing on the screen. Let's support this channel. We want to reach as many people as we can, but also we want to keep on beaming to you. We want to have fiber so that we can talk to you more. When I came here to Zimbabwe, I have not done as many live broadcasts as I could, because of the data is expensive here. Very, very expensive. It's not like when I was in South Africa where I could do live every day. Yes, here in in Zimbabwe, data will humble you. But that is not going to stop us from doing our work as the media. We're going to keep on doing that, especially now that we are facing the elections. I want your support, and I am imploring upon you to say, please support me. Let us do this together. Let us gather the news. Let us do the analysis. Let us have discussions. Let us inform each other on what to do in these upcoming elections. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next episode. And I also want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Please subscribe and have a good night.